What's up there, Forney? The Forney EDC Director and Board Chairman were asked to attend the last City Council meeting to give an update on current and upcoming economic development in Forney. As you know, since leaving my position on City Council, I've continued to keep up with what's going on at the city level so that I can stay informed, I can help keep the citizens of Forney informed, and point out many aspects of what goes on within the politics of Forney. I like to have fun with these videos, and quite frankly, several individuals involved in the politics of Forney just make it too easy. The video includes some cool updates and information, but interestingly, this update from the EDC contains many points that go directly against what a few of the politicians in City Council tried to sell the public during their campaigns, and shows that some of the decisions made after being elected were short-sighted. So anyway, enough talking, let's get to it. Trailhouse Park is the first item to be discussed. This is a new development that was approved by that big bad previous City Council, and it's located at the corner of 80 and Trailhouse Lane by Kroger. Listen to EDC Director Lynn Spencer describe the development.
They have updated their site plan to include a 1-mile trail and a large gathering park. This is a very walkable development. It's going to have, it has a proposed entertainment concept where you'll be able to open the roof and the people in the lawn will be able to have lawn chairs. There'll be patio restaurants that line that green space where restaurants or bars, if we can approve them, will be able to be out there so people can enjoy.
According to Ms. Spencer, the development already has 2 pad sites under contract, 2 more pad sites are in negotiation, including a dessert concept and breakfast concept, and several other restaurants and entertainment prospects are showing interest.
So Trail House has really taken off as sort of that more of a destination than even the Victory Group turned out to be more of a strip center, and Trail House has turned out to be more of a destination. So we're really excited to see that one move forward.
Forney is not a destination city in my mind, and I don't think it's ever going to be.
Oh, really? Victory Shops was the next development that was discussed, and it was just a quick update. Victory Shops is the retail development going in now at the corner of 80 and Trailhouse Lane right across from Trailhouse Park. That development is to include a Kohl's, Outback Steakhouse, Annie Ann's Pretzels, and many other restaurants and retail prospects that are yet to be announced. Standridge is the next development Ms. Spencer discussed, and it is in the very preliminary planning stages. Sounds like it could end up being a nice development, but listen to Ms. Spencer describe it and what the developer would require in order to make it happen.
Standridge, which is further over at 460, it's the big red blob over there on the side, across the street from the Knox property, which you're familiar with, the old gas station. So Standridge has approached the city, and we're working with them on concepts for partnership, which could include everything from a future fire station. They've got land they're willing to donate to the Parks Department if they want it. All those things are kind of initial discussions. Of course, in order to do what they want to do, which is put restaurants out there, because a lot of people on the west side have wanted restaurants, but there's no density. So in order to do that, they would have to put the multifamily with the restaurants.
Oh my, this development has caused a lot of problems
to make that whole project work. But that's something that we're working on. Those are all initial discussions, and there's no action on them right now. It's just things that are kind of being talked about.
Gateway Town Center is part of a large retail, restaurant, and entertainment project that is planned for the Gateway development just north of Highway 80. Phase 1 would include big box retail stores, potentially including Target. Although a page on Facebook posted a future retail plan for an expansion of the Crossroads in Terrell that showed Target as one of the tenants, according to Ms. Spencer, Target has not chosen their site yet, and the Gateway Town Center development is still a potential landing spot. Now, the Gateway development has been the target, no pun intended, of false claims and narratives created by previous politicians in Forney for years. A retail aspect has always been planned for this area of the Gateway, and it's good to see the plans for it starting to come together. Yes, I'm going to say it. I told you so. Listen to Ms. Spencer describe how this development, as well as a potential target, has finally become feasible in Forney. Keep in mind, too, that approximately 62 acres of land have been dedicated to the city for the Northside Park concept that is part of the bond the city has been working on, and that park would sit right by the retail area. She also goes over a development being proposed at the corner of Regal and 80 called Project Date Night.
When I got here, people asked, what about Target? Why don't we have a Target? And we said, well, we don't have the numbers, right? When you look at Target, it said 145. So one of the first things we did was we went out and got Placer AI, which is a software that the real estate world uses to see what the foot traffic is and sales to different stores. So once we got that and we ran the Forney buffer, we made the 145. So all of a sudden the conversation changed and we said, okay, guys, we can compete with this.
So what is she talking about? What Ms. Spencer is describing is Forney's trade area. It's the area in and around the city of Forney that retailers view their store can pull customers from. That area needs to have a certain level of population, income, rooftops, etc. Here's more about it.
You know, Target is going to look at housing growth. They're going to look at school growth. They're going to look at household incomes. They're going to look at all of it. And yes, Terrell already has that vibrancy with that shopping center, but that is not the only thing that they look at, and it's not the only thing they're going to consider. They're also looking at what the overall master plan is for the Gateway Town Center. Gateway Town Center, while it will have the power center and all the big boxes, it's also going to have that mixed-use walkable, and they're all working on that right now.
The question still is, how long have you been doing this? When did it start?
I just got here in June of 21, but I'm pretty sure they were probably talking about Target way before I got here. These things take years. I'm sure 2 councils ago they were talking about Target.
That's correct. Target has always been a hot topic for Forney economic development, but as Ms. Spencer said earlier, Forney just never had the numbers needed to attract one until recently. Without the growth that many on social media complain about and politicians use as taglines in their campaigns, Forney wouldn't be able to attract the target that many on social media have been calling for, and the same politicians can't wait to take credit for.
When you say walkability and stuff, like, my first thought is, and a lot of people that I've talked to, yes, they get excited about Target, but you say, if I give you a fire wheel versus a Target, you know, along those lines, are you envisioning something like a fire wheel design, or maybe like a Waters Crossing, I think is what it is, up in Allen, where you have, I know part of it you said was that there would have to be a multifamily. Are we talking about apartments up top, restaurants down below, or are we talking about adding more apartments, which we all know will
a combination of everything. A combination of everything. But you have to, everybody wants entertainment.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Okay. You cannot get entertainment without density, because not enough people go to the movies every day and they don't go bowling every day. So you have to have density to have entertainment. So it's a combination. So yes, you're going to have your big box, but they are working on a town center concept that's going to have both. It'll have the mixed use apartments above, retail below, walkability, but it'll also have those apartments behind it. So you'll have the density, you'll have the walkability, you'll have destinations. They're trying to create places where you would gather.
Forney is not a destination city in my mind, and I don't think it's ever going to be.
I think you'll be pleased. It'll have a little bit of that local feel and the smaller shops in that mixed use part, and then they'll have the big box. It's going to be a little bit of everything.
Okay, I had a question just going back to what you were saying a few minutes ago. So when you're talking about your vision for the Gateway, what you were describing sounded a lot like Crossroads at Terrell. Like when you talked about the anchor stores, all the density apartment behind it, some walkability. Is that what you're envisioning for the Gateway area?
No.
Maybe explaining it differently will help.
And so we're seeing kind of greenscape is our call, and I know it's hard because we're in a drought, but like Regal Square, it's centered around a park. It's centered around a park where you can do, you know, Tai Chi or yoga out in the park, walk your dog. There'll be a little walking trail. And same thing with Trail House, creating trails, creating walkability. And so that's what we're trying to do, is be more park oriented, because that's what we've got.
That's what I'd like to see.
Here's the info on Project Date Night.
And one I don't know that I talked about was Project Date Night, because that one kind of has gotten lost a little bit. Regal Square, which is down at the corner of Broad and Regal. That's also going to be a destination placemaking.
Forney is not a destination city in my mind, and I don't think it's ever going to be.
So they're going to be coming to a DRC meeting probably in the next 30 to 60 days with their plan, and that too will have that restaurant, walkability, entertainment complex. But everybody that we talked about at ICSC, whether it was Main Event or Fat Cats, or, you know, they all said the same thing. You got to have density, because if you have 1 acre homes and you have 5 houses on those 1 acre homes, how often are they going bowling? How often are they going to the movie? But if I can put 300 units like you just did at Bellagio,
imagine that.
you get 10% of those guys going bowling every day. You know what I mean? So it's just, they need the density to do entertainment. Yeah.
I know nobody wants to hear it, but density brings everything you're talking about here, and that's bottom line.
Imagine that.
In the next update, Ms. Spencer talks about the goal of expanding commercial development around town in order to disperse traffic from the main area of development at Highway 80 and 548. Well now, that sounds like a topic I covered in my transportation update. She goes on to give a quick update on prospects such as restaurants, coffee shops, tea houses, and other retailers showing interest in the 740 and 548 area in and across from the upcoming Tom Thumb development. She also mentions interest from a prospect from the recent ICSC convention the EDC went to in Las Vegas. A prospect they met with there is interested in the corner of Monitor and 740 across from the Bellagio development. Ms. Spencer also went on to give an update on the industrial outlook for Forney. She stated that industrial is still going strong, but the area in which the industrial growth is happening is filling up, so there's not too much left to bring to Forney on the industrial front. However, the EDC is working on a big state lead for the Gateway industrial area that would bring 1,000 to 1,400 jobs to Forney. The prospect is unknown, but when they come as a state lead, it's usually a big deal. That prospect is a work in progress. I know what you're thinking. Oh no, not more traffic. Again, growth brings amenities and tax revenues to help provide the infrastructure needed for the growth. With all of the growth around our city limits, Forney must grow. It's not a question, it's a must. The next topic of discussion is one I've always found interesting from an economic development standpoint. Leakage. Sounds very inappropriate, right? Leakage is a set of data that shows where residents in any given area go to shop and spend their money outside of the area they live. That data is based on cell phone data and credit and debit card transactions. The reason for leakage is that the area residents live has a void in retail, which causes those residents to visit other areas to shop. Generally, when people get out and shop, they tend to take care of whatever the needs be in one given area and may visit several stores in that area, which you will see include stores not currently in Forney, as well as Walmart, a store we do have. But rather than come back to town and make another stop at our Walmart, oftentimes people just go to a Walmart near where they are shopping at the time. This data is used by EDCs as a tool for them to know who to target, again, no pun intended, and attract to their city. Also in this update is a quick report on commercial residential starts from October through June. Check out that data, it's pretty interesting.
So we just recently got our updated leakage report from Placer. This shows you where our residents have spent money outside of Forney in the past 6 months. So they're divided between different topics. Again, there's a lot more ways we can look at these things, and we just started the analysis. But just to show you, our highest leakage is to Ross Dress for Less. Same thing with Dillard's and JCPenney's. In superstores, this is very exciting. So when you think about what you want and then you think about what you need, you have 29% leakage to Target. So 30,000 visits to Target in the last 6 months. So yes, we want some small stores and some of that local stuff, but that's not where Forney people are spending their big dollars. They're going to Target. They're even going to Walmart. There you go.
I have one other thing I'd like to kind of go through that's kind of off topic. It's just about commercial starts first and residential starts for the year. This is from October through June. Residential permits, 801 million. Commercial permits, 177 million. More than 2 to 1. I think that's a good sign and a trend that how Forney is really catching the public's eye for development, and I think good things are ahead.
The final bit of discussion included Cecil Chambers suggesting a rodeo for the Gateway development and Sandy Primus going on to suggest the ever-successful drive-in theater concept. I could be wrong, but it appears Ms. Spencer really hates the rodeo idea.
We're talking about retail a lot. Have we ever thought about maybe a sporting event, like a rodeo, a FCS type of
rodeo.
Sporting? Rodeo I think is another major event.
I don't know where we'd hold rodeo. We'd have to build an arena.
I'm sure.
I mean, anything's possible. We're doing a bond, right? But as far as a rodeo, we don't have an arena. So
yeah, I understand that.
From a tourism standpoint, so our 4th of July event in the park, That had 7,700 people, right? A whole bunch of them came from Dallas.
Forney is not a destination city in my mind, and I don't think it's ever going to be.
And whatever, that is a tourism event. So you could probably build on those type of things. Same thing with our New Year's Eve ball drop. We're the only people doing a ball drop. We're the old town of Brooklyn. We could build off of that and make that event bigger.
You know, the events that Amanda Lewis and Sarah Salgado tried to cancel.
No, that arena, it'll be shops with it. You still have the shops with it, but it'll be
An arena over at Gateway? I don't know. I don't know who's building it.
okay.
I mean, I don't know.
I'm just thinking outside the box.
Yeah, I mean, that is really outside the box.
So I'm with Councilman Chambers and Councilwoman Zahn. We have to be so far out the box different to get all this revenue. Maybe we get a drive-in theater or something like that, just way different. And I wonder, I'm just don't even worry about what I'm saying. But what I am saying is we are maybe 1/32 of the actual constituents of Forney.
I'm so confused. Is she saying the city council is 1/32 of the actual constituents in Forney? So the population of Forney is 224 people.
So there are people out there that I know, they have like these amazing ideas, and I'm not really sure how to get them to us or to you all so that we can actually use the land properly and be able to make something really, really good.
Anyone else inspired? For more videos like these, subscribe to the State of Forney on YouTube and like and share the State of Forney on Facebook.